and welcome to day 3 of the Engine Performance Expo. My name is Joe Castello alongside Lake Speed Jr. We have had 2 days prior to this that have been massive. They have been incredible. You guys out there in our worldwide audience have been fantastic. But Lake, final day, we got to go big.
Oh yeah, you know, as a racer, go-kart racer, 3 heat races, man. You can't give up on the last. We got 2 heats down, got to finish strong. As our friend Mark Cronquist from Joe Gibbs Racing would say, it's not how well the engine runs at the beginning of the race, it's got to finish the race. So today, day 3, we're going to finish the race.
Absolutely. We've had so much fun, though, and if you are logging on for the very first time, that makes perfect sense. Perhaps you have a job or had to work, or you were working in the shop during the week. Just know that everything that has happened already at the Engine Performance Expo is archived and available and will be available for you to watch whenever, over and over again. So much great information. They're going to be able to share it, check it out, and we encourage you, if you're hanging out all day long, tell your friends, post up on social media, all the great different things. The link, of course, it's free, as you know, and that's how we grow. And we've seen more and more people, better questions. The Q&A sessions have been tremendous.
Oh, the conversation amongst the participants in the chat has been fantastic. People asking questions and Billy Godbold and John Kazi answering their questions for them real time. So it's been amazing. Like you said, if you thought you missed it, you didn't. It's still there to watch yesterday's or the day before's. And today, we have a theme that has emerged.
Yes, exactly. Big cubic inches with Pat Musey, Mike Moran, John Kazi. Like, you just think about, what do they have in common? Well, uber successful. Huge engines. Like, they had the vision to go big, like we're trying to do in our final day. So we're going to have some big interviews, question and answer sessions. So it's
massive horsepower. Yeah, that's the goal of the day. You're going to finish strong. Another thing, too, is if you really like what you're seeing, which we've gotten great feedback so far, if you want to hear more from Ed Pink, Pat Musey, John Kazi, you ought to tune in to the Hidden Horsepower podcast. If you haven't heard enough from me and him yet so far, the Hidden Horsepower podcast, you can check it out, Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher. Deep dive interviews into these guys' past, their history, how they became who they are is there. It's also free, downloadable anytime you want it.
Absolutely, and you know what's funny is everybody throughout has had a podcast, whether it be Chuck Lynch, like most of these guys, they have such great information, they want to share that information throughout. That's what the whole point of the Engine Performance Expo is, to bring minds together to talk about what's happening now and what's next, and then put that information out for you guys to understand. Well, there's a lot going on in between the expo, and so be sure to, you know, if you've never listened to a podcast, check it out. There's a lot of them out there. And what Lake just mentioned, Keith Jones from Total Seal, myself, Lake, and some of the best engine builders in the world. Again, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, get it on your phone. But what's fun to me is that in between vital information, they're telling stories about each other, like Tom Martino ratting out Warren Johnson on a bunch of stuff.
Oh, exactly.
Like interesting, funny storylines. And so not only will you get to know information, but you'll get to know the personalities, and that these guys are not just geniuses, but also very fun.
Oh, yeah, they're human. And they were, before Ed Pink was Ed Pink, he was just a guy working in a shop.
Yep. That
everyone starts somewhere, and it's that passion, that drive, that commitment to excellence that eventually brings them to the forefront where you become a known name. They didn't start off as the old master.
Well, we had Ed on yesterday, and it was amazing. Presented the Lifetime Achievement Award, courtesy of the folks at Rottler. He was super surprised. But as he's just ticking off what he did, well, you know, Dry Lakes, drag racing, and it's like, then, you know, Busby's Porsche. It's like, oh my gosh, the 500, 500. It's like, oh my goodness, this guy has been successful at every level and still is to this day.
Right.
And that's the kind of moment that is coming out of this. But I know a lot of the people out there in the audience, they don't care about any of that. They want to win stuff.
Right.
And we've got that covered as well.
Oh, again, thanks to Dart and Diamond and all the sponsors that contributed the parts to the short block. End of the day, $10,000 worth of engine parts are going to be given away to some lucky viewer. So make sure you stay tuned around, because at the end of the day, we're going to announce who the winner is.
We're going to announce the winner, and I assure you that I am not eligible to win. Otherwise, you would not be winning it.
I would really wish I could be, though.
Wouldn't it be the best if you could just, pull it off, some sort of insider move? But you can't.
No, that's not fair.
One of the audience members is going to get it, so stay locked on. And it has just been tremendous to see the energy. And again, why are we doing this? Well, we want to get together. We get together every year. There's an exchange of information that always happens. And this given year, we all know why we can't get together. We're doing the right thing. We want to get back to the track, frankly. And so we're doing what we've got to do, taking as many precautions as we possibly can. So putting it out digitally, and what a great way to improvise.
Oh, yes.
The only thing we have slightly missed is the after trade show happy hour circuit, which I love.
That's a good point.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no St. Elmo's here, but it's all right. I think we have some barbecue coming in today. This is good. But the thing about it, we've had a couple of technical glitches along the way, but it's no big deal. That's part of it. It's kind of like you go to the racetrack. There's never a perfect weekend where you don't have you scrape the wall a little bit, spin a tire on this. There's little glitches. It's about how you overcome it. And that's the big message here.
This is something I speak to my friends in the stick and ball world, where you could have the worst game of your life and still win. Right? Like, you could still win. Yeah, the other guy was worse. We have embraced a sport where 90% of the time you lose, where most everybody walks out of there feeling defeated at some level, and you have to learn to embrace the small victories. Did I find some horsepower? Did I roll out of the place with a car that was intact? Did I go some rounds if you're a drag racer? And it's interesting to see how that mentality and the just challenge of the sport builds such great character with these guys. There is nothing that will stop them.
Resilient.
If there is a challenge, they're going to find a way around it. Don't challenge the racer.
You heard Billy yesterday talking about the factory eliminators, factory shootout cars.
Yes.
How do you get over it? Just turn the engine faster, and then we overcome it. You find the obstacle, and you don't just walk away. You overcome it. And I think that's really kind of the ethos, if you will, of the Engine Performance Expo, is that people need information. You're going to go faster. It's like Doug Yates said, you win with advantages. And you got to find those advantages. And just like Warren Johnson said, they're usually not going to be giant chunks. They're little ones. You got to put them together and you add them up. And that becomes something. And that's what we're trying to do. And the feedback we've heard so far has been, we've been delivering that. The little nuggets of information here, there, and yonder are going to help people go faster in 2021 than they did in 20. And that's all that matters.
And build engines for customers and clients that are going to last longer, be more reliable. And yesterday, we did have a couple of technical glitches. Just want everybody to know, like, if there was a video you were watching, a presentation, and it cut out or something at any point or glitched up, those are available and they are glitch-free today. So you just see on your screen anything that has happened. But I would recommend that is your during the week viewing. You want to stick with us live all day. Coming up just seconds from now, Mike Moran, we're going to see a video in the shop. Then we're going to do a question and answer session. And those have been some of the most, my favorite, because when people can reach out from Sweden, from Melbourne, Australia, from all around the world, I'm picking places that are far or cold. And Australia, not cold, but far.
Yes,
Sweden,
definitely far.
Cold and also far. And communicate and tell us what they're doing and ask a quick question and get an answer and get on the track to better knowledge and more information. That is the goal. So please reach out during the day. If you hear us talking about questions, there's no such thing as a bad question. Fire it off, because we are going to have some fun.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, that's been the neatest thing, like you said, to see that global audience, to see, hey, there's people having a watch party in Winnipeg, Canada.
Right.
That's awesome. Hey, guys, shout out to you. Gary, me and my buddy down in Australia. I know he's watching. Say, hey, Gary, because it's a whole global audience. And my phone's been blowing up every night with text messages from people all around the world who are hyped about this. So this is just the beginning.
Absolutely.
Engine Performance Expo isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, super cool. My social media, you can follow me, WFO Joe, by the way, because yesterday people were like reaching out to me personally, and I'm like, I'm not the guy to be asking questions. I facilitate the questions to the experts. But it has been really interesting. You mentioned that watch party, the watch parties we've been hearing about. The first one that kind of we learned about was a trade school, and all of a sudden the students are learning about it, and they're watching watching the next day. Just so much great energy around this, and we appreciate you guys sticking with us the first 2 days, but we're going to finish off strong talking about big cubic inches. John Kazi at the end of the day, Pat Musey, but right now we're going to throw it to our first video of the day, Mike Moran, who is also known for big cubic inches, powerful street cars, and a whole lot of horsepower.
I'm Mike Moran, head of Moran Motorsports and Moran Racing Engines, Taylor, Michigan. Been doing this about 35 years. Been in and out of racing, started street racing when I was young, and then I got into fastest street car racing, and the whole time I was an aircraft mechanic and did a lot of maintenance at the airport. Went full-time with this in 2000. It's been my profession ever since. We do high-end race cars, street cars here. We do EFI development. Worked with a lot of the major companies and vendors in the industry. And we're proud of actually doing that. And we're doing a lot of firsts. We've done a lot of barriers that we've broken. We were the first street car in the 7s and the 6s, and then we actually had the first turbo car in the 5s. So we've been setting milestones and records, and that's what we're known for. But all along, we've actually been designing parts to make our racing better. And then since I've been doing this full time, we've actually been making parts for customers. So they like a lot of what we did on our own car. And we've been doing that same development for them to make them faster and better. See here throughout the shop is a lot of different cars here of all different types of nature. There's land speed, there's quarter mile, there's standing mile, turbocharged, supercharged, normally aspirated. We've been working real hard to keep this customer base going, and it's been a real fun ride the whole time. And they say it's not work if you love what you do, right? So that's what we're doing here. We specialize in turbocharged and EFI applications. We were actually the first car out in pro street or street racing, period, that had EFI on it. We were doing it in the late 80s, 86 on, and I remember a number of competitors coming up to us and telling us, they ought to give you a weight break because you're running EFI. They all thought we were, the laughing stock, but it didn't take long till we actually got it figured out, and those same people were coming up to us and telling us we need a weight penalty right after we got it going. But if you look out there today, I don't think there's a car out there running serious competitive racing that doesn't have EFI on it now. So I'm proud of the fact that we worked with Big Stuff 3 and a number of different companies in the industry to make that mainstream. So the turbocharging stuff is kind of our thing, and we specialize in it. And we do specialize in custom fuel injectors and EFI and things of that nature. A lot of the customers that are here come to us because we specialize in perfection. And what this means is we'll start with a combination, and it's an evolution over a year, 2 years, whatever it takes to get the optimum for the customer, what he's looking to do. So a lot of times it's just something you actually put forth on paper, you design it, you build it, then you go run it, and sometimes some of that stuff may change from what you had on paper, but that's part of the evolution of what we do here. So here at Moran Motorsports, you're going to notice that the place is very clean. It's the way I like it, and I got a guy here that really needs credit for it because he's completely responsible for everything you see here and keeping it clean. We just want to stay focused on our work. His work is to make this place clean. Ricky, can you come in here for a minute? So this guy, he's like the underdog here at Moran Motorsports, and everything this guy's done here has made this place clean. He stays on top of it from the minute he gets here to the minute he leaves. It's all he's doing is keeping this place clean, and I'm really proud of him. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Well, the biggest thing I feel like having somebody here to keep the place clean and that guys don't have to worry about doing that is it makes it enjoyable to come in. It brightens up your day, right? You come in and you're in filth, well, you got a pretty bad attitude, right? And it's uprising to come in and everything's clean, all the tools are laid out. To me, that's worth something. I like a bright place that's clean to work in, and that's what Ricky's about. He keeps it so that we like and enjoy coming in. Moran Motorsports doesn't just do race engines. We also actually do combinations for street cars, race cars. A lot of customers will bring to us their vehicle and want us to design a turbo system for their car. This is kind of what we were involved in the 90s when turbo was not mainstream. We moved it into the mainstream with a number of other racers that actually pioneered racing it and drag racing. And the next thing you know, by the late 2000s, everybody's got the stuff, right? So we're known for actually taking cars and customers coming in with them, and then we'll actually design a turbo system, and we'll do all the fabrication work, like the headers mounted to the turbos, and the turbos mounted to the engine. All that stuff has to package. There is no kits for that unless you're a normal main street like a Mustang or a Camaro. They do have kits for that. But when you want a custom kit or something that's a little bit more tailored precisely to your vehicle, like say this Dodge Charger Hemi here, this is something that's street driven by a customer and a friend of ours named Bob Vargo. He's a local, but what you see here has 20,000 miles on it, and it makes in excess of 2,000 horsepower. This is what we're talking about when we do reliability. They come to us to design a package and evolve it. So this has been an evolution of about 3 to 5 years to get this combination where it's at. But this is what we do. We do all kinds of custom work. They wanted a custom set of valve covers, we design those. We work primarily with Garrett, but we do work with Precision and other turbo companies. That's what we chose on this particular combination, and it's what lasted for 20,000 plus miles at this point.
What a day, what a day, what a day. Yeah, my brain is swollen. I've learned so much today. They told us, don't start cars. We are